psychology of recruiting. Know your job description. If somebody, bottom line, have an answer to, what do you do? How many people, if I put you on the spot just real quick, so it'd be good to get some on tape. If I were going to bring you up on stage right now and ask you, what do you do? How many of you are really comfortable about jumping up here right now and answering that? 6 people. It is important you have an answer to what you do. Agreed?
Yes.
Okay. Would you agree first impressions are everything?
Absolutely.
First impressions are everything. Science has proven. They did all the studies. I forget the exact number, but it's like 25, 26, 22, 20-something judgment decisions people make about you in the first 60 to 120 seconds. That will not change. If you make a good first impression on somebody, somebody feels good about you in the first 60 seconds to 2 minutes, feels good about you, then they'll give you a break on every screw-up for the rest of your life. Because that was their first impression, that you're a good person. So the real big deal is they start looking for the good in you. They expect good things to come out of you. You make a bad first impression. No matter how hard you work to recover from that, they're always going to look for the bad in you. But they don't consciously do that. They just automatically do that. If you took somebody that made a bad first impression on you, okay, and 10 years from now, they've done everything perfect. They've become one of your best friends. You trust them with your kids. They're unbelievable. Everything in their life has been, their track record with you has been phenomenal, other than that first 2 minutes. And 10 years from now, they're accused of doing something wrong. Your first instinct is they might have done it. Just from that bad first impression. You have something that makes a good first impression in that first minute to 2 minutes. And screws up every day for 10 years. And then 10 years from then, they get accused of something. Your gut instinct will be they probably didn't do it. Then logic will take over and, yeah, maybe they did. But that's how strong first impressions are. If first impressions are that important, should you be good at them?
Yes.
Okay? I know I want to stack everything in my favor. I want everybody giving me a break. I work so hard on first impressions, all right? So, on job description, before we get to it, if somebody asks what you do, and you say, I'm in financial services, what do people think you're in? Sales. If somebody asks, what do you do? And you go, I specialize in helping the baby boomers with their 401k rollover. What do they think you do? Sales. If you talk about how unbelievable our financial needs analysis is and how there's an avalanche of debt in this country and it is horribly destroying people's lives, and you go in and show people how to fix that, what do they think you're in? Sales. Now, no matter how somebody views themselves on a social scale from 1 to 10, let's say they view themselves as a 5. Their self-image is in life, I'm a good solid 5. I'm right in the middle of the pack. When they meet somebody and they believe that person's in sales, where do they put them on the hierarchy of social list? Below them, wherever they're at. If you view yourself as a 5, there's no way you're going to look at them as better than a 4. Right? Okay? So that's going to be your first impression of them forever. They're in sales. So if they're in sales, what kind of words comes to what adjectives now pop into your mind to describe the person now that you think they're in sales?
Pushy.
What's slick? Pushy. Fast talking. Manipulative. Bottom line, everything you can make come out of their mouth, there's a partial lie to it one way or the other. It cannot be totally true. They've got an angle. So does it open or close their mind? Closes their mind. So when somebody asks what you do, Should it have anything to do with financial services or products, no matter how cool it is? Mutual funds, debt elimination, should it have anything to do with that?
No.
No. Why? It's a bad first impression. They're all going to automatically not trust you. They're just not going to trust you. So that's not a good thing, right? But if somebody says, what do? And you say, I'm a headhunter. I locate and train people to open up offices for our firm. Now, think about you. You don't know me. I meet you. We're on the street. Whatever it is, I get introduced to you at a sporting event. And you ask me, what do I do? I'm a headhunter. I locate and train people to open up offices for our firm. On a social scale, no matter how you view yourself, where do you just put me?
Higher.
Above you. So now, everything I say has more credibility.
Right.
I probably know something you don't know. Now, all of that, could I have just got into business yesterday?
Yes.
And I instantly get that much credibility by saying I'm a headhunter, I locate and train people to open up offices for our firm. Just by 2 sentences, 3 sentences, whatever that is, I now stack everything in my favor. Most people stack everything against them from the very get-go. I have done this myself. Okay? I gave a referral to Darren Woolgemuth probably 8, 9 months ago. Okay? This was at my wife's dermatologist. She sends me by to pick up her whatever stuff is, right? So I go by to pick it up, and the lady asked, there's a conversation going on, and 401ks are being talked about. We end up having a conversation. And she goes, what do you do? And I just heard the conversation they had. Well, I screwed up. And instead of saying my normal thing, I talked about we help people with rollovers. Now, this lady has got $300,000 or $400,000 that she needs to deal with. We still haven't moved that money. And I know she's getting hosed. If I would have just said I'm a headhunter, and I went through my stuff, and stayed focused on that, I would have had, and by the way, in that same conversation, I recovered. Really, I take myself out of the sales thing. I'm a headhunter, I locate and train people, but I could get somebody, and I go through that whole mode. It opened up her mind more to where she'd have a conversation when she realized I was really, we still haven't got that money though. All because of what? First impressions. They're thinking that she's thinking I'm in sales. Yes.
Shane, the word headhunter just has a negative connotation with me. This is probably just personal, but it's like a pygmy out there running around with somebody's head on a stick.
Right.
Is there another way?
Well, you wouldn't even have to say headhunter. I'm going to go through some examples right now. I'm glad you asked that, so keep us moving on. I'm going to go through some examples of what you can do. Instead of even calling yourself any title. I locate and train, or I locate and develop people for vice president positions in our company. I don't say that anymore, but that's what gives you along the line. I locate and develop people to open up offices for our firm. Now, a lot of you can't say that because you don't believe that. So therefore, it would be a lie. In order for it to work, it's got to be true. So you can say, I help. You just add the word help. What do you do? Well, I help locate and train people to open up offices for our firm. I locate and train people to be vice presidents with our company. So you don't even have to use the word headhunter at all. The biggest thing is I locate and train people to open up offices, or I help. Is it true for everyone to say they help do that?
Yes.
Because that's what this whole office is about. That's what this whole educational center here is for, right? It's teaching people how to become vice presidents in our company, right?
Right.
I locate, train, develop leaders for ownership positions within our firm. You're going to be able to write something, and if you need to change a word or two, just talk to your leader, but there's nothing any more important out of all of today than you learning an answer to what do you do. Because you get that asked all the time. And you don't want to go, you need to have a quick answer, right? I locate and train people to open up offices for our firm. And then I can have a conversation, right? Then, here's what happens. When you establish that you don't like the word headhunter, but you locate and train, I locate and train people to open up offices for our firm. Now you position yourself higher on the social scale in their mind than they are themselves. Yes? They don't stop there. Believe me, I do this a lot. If you're in a conversation with somebody, their next thing, I mean, that's kind of a vague term, right, John? I mean, that is a thing where they're like, ooh, and really what it gets around to is, what does the company do? Or they go, well, what do you really do? Well, what I really do is I locate and train people to open up offices for our firm. But what do you mean? What does the company do? I'm going to direct them to, what does the company do? Oh, you mean what does the company do? Oh, what they do is cool. They show people how to become debt-free and financially independent. At this point, when I say they, I can brag about them all I want. What they do is so cool. They now have an open mind to listen about what they do is so cool. See, if I'm not involved in it, I'm not trying to talk them into anything. So they have an open mind. Oh, what they do is cool. They show people to get debt-free and financially independent. Have you seen what's happened with interest rates? My goodness. Rates have gone up 4 full percentage points, 16 times in the last 21, 22 months. It's devastating to people. And they don't even know it's devastating. More people are going to lose their homes in the next couple of months, the next year, than ever before in the history of our country. Even worse than the Great Depression. And what they do is fix that for people. It's so cool what they do. Now, it would be hard for me to oversell what Primerica does, right?
Right.
Are they listening to everything I say?
Yes.
Are they open-minded?
Yep.
Do they want what they do? They want that stuff. Then it's like, well, you know what? Because then they'll bring it up. I need something like that. I need to learn about that. Well, you know what? I might be able to get you hooked up with somebody that can come do that for you. I'm taking myself out of it. And it's still, even if I'm the one that's personally going to do the appointment, it's still, you know what? I'll see if I can get you hooked up with somebody. I like you. We met. I believe in faith. I meet people for a reason, rhyme and reason, you know. I tell you what, I'll get somebody hooked up. Give me your name and number, and they'll be able to take care of it. Then if I personally want them, I'll call them back myself and say, you know what, for you, I might even do it in that same conversation. For you, I like you. I'd be willing to take care of that myself. I don't really normally, that's not what my focus is. That's not what I really normally do. But I'd be willing to do that for you. Oh, you would? Oh, please come over. It turns into them begging me to come over rather than me trying to get an appointment. Make sense? All right, so first impressions are? The first thing in the psychology of recruiting is know your job description. How many people need to get better at that? Look, you understand, this would take 5 minutes at the end of our normal training this morning for you to meet with your leader to walk through a couple of things that you feel comfortable saying, and I promise you, you're going to be begging in your mind, you're going to be hoping people ask what you do. Most of you get caught up in a conversation and you're going, well, they don't ask what I do. And then, or you have been asked what you do, and you talk about financial services and it blows up, right? Think about all the conversations you've had so far. Had you done it leading with the opportunity and then falling back and talk about what they or the company does, how many more appointments would you have done in just the last month? It's everything, right? If you only learned this from today, is it worth being here?
Yes.
And it's not about you, it's about who you're teaching and training too. Your teammates that aren't here, make sure you put it down on your list before the day's over, before the weekend's over, whatever it is. You're going to make sure everybody in your team can answer what is it that you do, and they understand the job description stuff, all right? So we'll pick up in the middle of psychology recruiting next Saturday, all right? So let's take a 5-minute break and our regular training will start.